Dolphins fans, free agency is about to get wild. It all begins next week, and you want to stay in the loop if the Fins are making moves. So subscribe to the channel and also turn on your notifications by hitting the noti bell below this video and setting your notifications to all. Dolphins Today is presented by Manscaped. If you go to manscaped.com and use promo code Dolphins, you can get a great deal on their Weed Whacker 2.0. We'll tell you more about them later on in today's show. Welcome in to Dolphins Today. I am Will Scott. Happy Friday to you all. And we do have some news that is breaking right now regarding the Fins. Running back Salvon Ahmed, who is set to be a restricted free agent, has re-signed with the Miami Dolphins. He is one of 4 running backs that you have on this roster that was set to be a free agent, but Ahmed will be back for a 4th season in Miami. Jordan Schultz was the first to report the news. Restricted free agent running back Salvon Ahmed signed back to the Dolphins, sources tell The Score. Only 24 years old and a player the team values for his versatility. And I really like this move. It's a bring Salvon Ahmed back. Of course, he was not as involved in this offense this past season. Actually didn't even play the first half of the season, but we did start to see him get some carries here and there in the last couple of weeks of this season. He has spent 3 seasons with the Dolphins, 30 career games played, had only 12 carries for 64 yards and a touchdown this past season. His best performance was in Week 15 in Buffalo, 6 carries, 43 yards, really stepped up for the Dolphins in that football game and was set to become a restricted free agent, which would have meant he could talk to other teams, but the Dolphins could have matched any offer. But just a few days before free agency set to begin here next week, he has re-signed with the Miami Dolphins. So this is really the first move that the Dolphins have made leading up to free agency when you're talking about bringing a guy back. They've made some cap space moves to clear cap that we'll talk about here in a second, though. Now, go down in the comments and grade the signing of Salvon Ahmed. Type A, B, C, D, or F. It is the pinned comment on today's video. So when you get with an ad break here in a few seconds, go down and chime in. Type A, B, C, D, or F. Taking a look now at the Dolphins running back situation. So Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson were your top 2 backs. They're both unrestricted free agents. Salvon Ahmed, he is re-signed. He was set to become a restricted free agent. And then Myles Gaskin is a restricted free agent. We'll see if they bring him back. But I've been saying for the past couple of weeks, re-sign one of those 2 guys, re-sign one of those 2 guys, and go get a clear RB1 either via trade or free agency. So I think that signing Salvon Ahmed likely means that Myles Gaskin's time as a Dolphin is done. We, of course, heard Gaskin linked in some trade rumors before last season. He barely played last year. I still expect Miami, though, to go after a really good RB1. Maybe that's Derrick Henry in a trade, or maybe that's Miles Sanders in free agency. It's looking like that Sanders is going to leave Philadelphia, and you're somewhat limited with your options now in free agency because Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley were placed on the franchise tag. Miles Sanders might be your best option if you want to sign a running back in free agency. Got a public service announcement now on Dolphins Day. And, of course, I've told you a lot about their new beard hedger. Now I'm going to tell you about the Weed Whacker 2.0. Go ahead and tell the world the leaders in below-the-waist grooming are traveling north of the South Pole with their revolutionary grooming products, the new Weed Whacker 2.0. And their new beard line confirms they have all the best tools for your hygiene toolbox. Time to upgrade your game by going to manscaped.com and using code DOLPHINS for 20% off plus free shipping. Get 20% off plus free shipping with our code DOLPHINS at manscaped.com. I really like the Weed Whacker 2.0. There's nothing worse than nose hair, right? When you are a guy and you go out and you got nose hair, it's just distracting. It's not good. Weed Whacker 2.0 is going to take care of that nasty ear hair and nose hair as well. Super easy to use. It will get all those nasty hairs off of your ear and nose. 20% off at manscaped.com with promo code Dolphins, of course, for free shipping, 20% off and free shipping with code Dolphins at manscaped.com. Go and check them out. That link is in the comments and the description of today's video. I mentioned those cap space moves. Miami has cleared more cap space today. They have restructured Tyreek Hill and Terron Armstead's contracts. We just heard this news this morning, and it is one of the many moves the Dolphins have made in the last couple of days to clear cap space. The Dolphins a few days ago were $16 million over the cap. That is not the case anymore. Now, Byron Jones got cut, but because that was a post-June 1 cut designation, the Dolphins are not going to have that $13.6 million until June 1st. Cethan Carter was released. You get that $2.3 million cleared. Bradley Chubb restructured his contract, $14.66 million. Tyreek Hill restructured his contract, $18 million. And then Terron Armstead, nearly $12 million. So, Chris Grier, shout out to you. Miami now has $29 million to spend. They're $29 million under the cap. There probably are going to be some other moves. You could extend Christian Wilkins. You could extend Connor Williams. You could trade Cedric Wilson. You could restructure or trade Emmanuel Ogbah. So when we wake up on Monday, and the Dolphins are starting to talk to some guys, they might have $50 million in cap space to spend. We'll see. Right now, the Dolphins have $29 million. That's the ninth most of any team. And what have I been telling y'all? For the past several weeks, y'all have been freaking out saying, Will, what are we going to do to clear this cap space? We're $16 million over the cap. And what have I been saying? The salary cap is not real. You can restructure contracts. You can figure it out. And the Dolphins, like that, have gone from $16 million over to $29 million under. And that does not even include the nearly $14 million you're going to free up when Byron Jones officially get that money from him being cut post-June 1. It's pretty clear that Chris Grier is prepping for some big moves next week. Is that going to be a trade? Is that going to be a couple signings? I don't know. But definitely tip your cap to Chris Grier. He has done a great job the last couple of years getting the Dolphins out of salary cap hell. He knows how to restructure contracts, and he's been very aggressive the last couple of days. Chubb was owed a lot of money. Hill, Armstead, Stephen Ross writing those checks now instead of later, clearing the cap. Shout out to Chris Grier, prepping for some big moves that we're going to see here in the coming days. Maybe one of those moves is trading for Philadelphia Eagles cornerback Darius Slay. The Eagles have granted him permission to seek a trade. Big news that we heard in the National Football League this morning, that the possible Eagle star could possibly be moved, and we'll see what happens here in the coming days and coming weeks. But Darius Slay, the latest star player that we're hearing in NFL trade rumors. Now, do you want to trade for Darius Slay? Type T for trade or type P for pass down in the comment section. Go down and let me know. I would definitely expect the Dolphins to inquire. I'd be a little bit surprised if they traded for him, but I definitely expect Grier to pick up the phone and call Howie Roseman, the Eagles, about Slay and what his value might be in a trade. Taking a look at what he did this past season in a NFC Championship season for the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, them making the Super Bowl with that really talented defense. Slay was leading the way. 40 solo tackles, 3 interceptions, 14 pass breakups. I actually don't think he's going to get traded. I think he's just probably trying to get a new contract and him kind of using this as a bargaining chip with the Eagles. He is 32 years old. I don't know how I feel about I get it. He's really good. But I don't know how I feel about trading for a 32-year-old corner. And then you're probably going to have to give him a brand new contract because he could be a free agent after next year. Now, taking a look at the updated Dolphins cornerback depth chart. Of course, Byron Jones was cut. Nick Needham is a free agent. So you definitely need a CB2 to pair with Xavier Howard. Even if you bring back Nick Needham, I think you have to go out and sign a corner in free agency. Slay's really good. I'd be excited if this was a possibility, but I'd rather sign a younger corner in NFL free agency. And there is a lot of good options to choose from here. Taking a look at some of those options. Jonathan Jones, I really like him. He's my number one target. Jamel Dean has been linked to the Dolphins a lot. Shaquille Griffin, was cut by Jacksonville earlier this week. He is expected to maybe get some interest from the Dolphins. So those are 3 guys to look at, but those are probably the 10 best corners available in NFL free agency. I do believe that Jones, Dean, and Griffin are all realistic options here for the Dolphins. Now, which corner do you want to sign in NFL free agency? Go down in the comments section. I definitely think the Dolphins will add a corner. It might not be a huge splash like trading for Jalen Ramsey or Darius Slay, but they could sign a Jamel Dean, who would be a really solid CB2 behind Xavier Howard. And then you could bring back Nick Needham to maybe have a role as a backup corner on this team. And then Kader Kohu could be your main nickel back. I really like that. And don't forget True Williams is coming back as well. So this Dolphins cornerback room might be in better shape than people think going in to next year. Again, we're going to have you guys covered with all NFL free agency news and rumors. Subscribe to the channel. Also, follow me on Twitter at WillScott44, because I'm saying that a lot of guys might be Dolphins.